Welcome, my name is Siegefrey and I want you to watch Hero Man. Never heard of Hero Man? Well, time to make you a hero fan. Hero Man is a superhero anime put together by Bones after they made Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, but before My Hero Academia. Didn't know all those were by the same studio? For shame. Action is on point. Hero Man stars this kinda wimpy 13-year-old named Joey Jones. Did I forget to mention that it's written in part by the late great Stan Lee? That is a Stan name if I've ever heard one. And true to that archetypal Peter Parker rags to heroics but still rags story, Joey finds himself with a superpower at the end of the first 20 minutes of this 26-episode masterpiece. But instead of being bitten by some radioactive monstrosity, they put together a broken Habo, that's a toy robot for those of you who don't know, who gets struck by magical and/or technological lightning from alien invaders. Did I forget to mention the alien invaders? They're giant bugs from outer space purposely brought here by Denten-sensei, the physics professor of Joey's middle school. Though, to be fair, he had absolutely no idea that they were malevolent at the time. They just want to take over the world, turn humans into mutated genetic, probably experiments. Can someone say Zerg? It shouldn't be that hard. It's a single syllable. Anyway, back to Joey and their Habo. The robot grows into a giant, well, bigger robot. We're talking like 8 feet tall, though it's kinda hard to tell with anime. And its remote control morphs into a dual disc straight out of Yu-Gi-Oh! That fuses to Joey's arm. But instead of turning Joey into a CCG hero, they become the squishy human component of an actual superhero team, which is very lucky because there'd be no way that little orphan Joey would be able to afford the booster packs. Oops! Did I forget to mention that they're an orphan raised by their presumably widowed grandmother? Well, the more you know. So the thing about Hero Man is that it doesn't talk, except for grunts basically, for the entirety of the show. It's not like an idiot or anything, it's a robot. It has some kind of empathic connection to Joey. Put a pin in that because it's going to come back later. Wait, you don't know what that's about? You ever read any Bob Salvatore? We're talking Drizzt and Guinevere? Ever play like Dungeons and Dragons or Pathfinder or anything? You know, like druid, animal companions, mage familiars? No? You're lost. Joey teams up with their crew of sidekicks. Denten-sensei, who feels guilty about summoning the Scrug, these are the cockroach aliens, try to keep up, and is improbably good at reverse engineering alien technology to be used against their creators. Sai, Joey's best friend who has a fetish for walking around with crutches, my apologies for all those who are physically disabled out there, and has a killer fro. And Lena, the rich, perfect cheerleader who manages to avoid being a stereotype because she crushes hard after Joey since before the show even started. I hope you like her cheerleading uniform, by the way, because you'll be seeing quite a lot of it. Lena does have an older brother, though, Will, the big, burly quarterback. He does not avoid being a stereotype, constantly butting heads with Joey and being a general asshole. Let's just say that someone's responsible for Sai not being able to walk. No, I'm not saying that it's definitely Will, but I'm not saying it's not Will either. So all this sounds pretty standard, right? Superhero team with an obvious weakness, the fleshy Joey for those of you not paying attention. Existential threat to humanity, and a squad of backup characters that can provide moral support but not actually take on threats. Why should anyone be a hero fan? First off, Joey has 4 primary colors for their outfit. A bunch of black with a yellow and white striped shirt. Damn, stripes are just nice, you know? And just a dash of purple. Do these colors mean anything to you? That's right, Joey Jones is 100% an NB, even though the flag that uses those colors won't be created for another 4 years. They were just a bit early, give them a break. If you think this is a little bit of a stretch, let me just remind you that Stan Lee created the X-Men, and Bones celebrated its 20th anniversary with Carol and Tuesday. I rest my case. The show is 26 episodes long. I did drop that count in there earlier for those of you who like foreshadowing. And there's only 2 main arcs, the Alpha and the Omega. This gives the show plenty of time to take it slow and see what Joey and the gang are like when the world isn't being threatened. And of course, throw in some jealous evil scientists, government interference, light Cthulhu-esque incursions, etc., etc. My point being, the show is long enough to just be, without having to constantly throw action and plot in your face. Not that the action and plot is bad, mind you, but being able to see that peaceful, idyllic life makes the threat so much more real, you know? And of course, the hero lessons! It wouldn't be much of a hero show without hero lessons, now would it? That empathic bond, I am so on point today with the foreshadowing, breaks down at one point and we see what Hero Man would be like without Joey steering the ship. It loses all mercy and becomes a brutal killing machine. It's impossible to argue that it's not more effective on taking out the bad guys, but without the human element, someone called this a weakness, it ceases to be a hero. It's just another monster. But that's not all. Oh no, this show has not one but two hero lessons. I mean, I did use the plural there at the beginning. This shouldn't be too much of a shock. Joey spends some time refining their idea of what a hero is and comes out of it knowing that it's someone willing to sacrifice himself for the greater good. Then they lose everything. Their supporting cast, the government assistants, Hero Man. I mean, I guess not literally everything. The existential threat is still there. And Joey uses their powers. Did you really think that this superhero team would only have one superhero for the entirety of the show? Really? To take on the threat, martyring themselves for Earth. Except not. They didn't pick up on the most important point of that second hero lesson. A hero must be willing to lay down their life for the greater good, sure, but they must always hope for their return. A world without everyone, hero included, is a lesser world. Except I guess for that existential threat kind of thing. Damn, why does that always have to add asterisks everywhere? Now, this isn't actually a review, since I don't care about any of that, but I would feel remiss in my duties of whatever I'm doing if I didn't spill the negatives. The first is that even though Hero Man is literally themed after the American flag, there is no English dub for this show. And the other one is that the second season is just taking way too damn long to come out. It's been 12 plus years already, Bones. Stop making MHA and go back to your golden child. And that's it. I'm a Hero fan, and I hope I've given you enough of a reason to check this show out. Anyway, we've reached the ending segment, the simping shoutout. It's self-explanatory. Look it up. Today's simping shoutout, of course, goes to Stan Lee. He is the one largely responsible for defining what it means to be a hero today, and the world would be a much less interesting place if not for his influence. Thank you for your service to making the world a better place, and just for being you, Stan. Excelsior!